actually want to talk about a lesson. I don't think we've done enough yet about lessons and things that are happening in the classroom, to be honest. And I want to talk to you about using Twitter to support a lesson that is about using Google Earth. And it always takes me ages to try and remember the URL, so I'm probably just going to talk. I was beginning an ICT lesson looking at Google Earth. It was going to be a basic introduction. And at the very last minute, I decided to use Twitter and my network to actually help the kids understand Google Earth better. So I asked my Twitter network to challenge my kids to find them in Google Earth, to find the building, the very buildings they were in. And so what I had is on the screen, I had
Hello.
I had the Twitter feed on the class sort of interactive whiteboard. All my replies came in, and what I was looking at was individual challenges coming in from around the world, so that the kids could actually have a real challenge. So we had a bunch of people sort of saying, okay, this is my school, this is a place we're in, a town we're in the US, go and find us. And what we were looking for the kids is we weren't actually giving the kids like a guided tour. They weren't being tourists, they were being explorers. And we kind of set them off. I set a bunch of kids working in pairs, and they went away. And they were trying to find these people's schools, basically, using Google Earth, and the kind of limited amount of information that we kind of that were given them by these people on Twitter. One of the things that was really nice is that we were able to give the people who challenged us some real evidence that we actually found them. So, for example, in Google Earth, obviously, the detail of a lot of the US is quite high, so we were able to find this one particular school. We were able to look at their football pitch and see the name of the actual kind of team that they had sort of painted all over the football pitch. And that was the evidence that we sort of sent back, and I sort of replied back to this teacher and said, your football team is the Braves, or whatever we said. And it was really great to be able to give the kids a real challenge from real people, and it sort of certainly opened their eyes to sort of being a connected teacher and also connecting their classroom. And it was a great way to use Google Earth. It was at the very last minute I decided to change it, but I certainly would, strongly. I think one thing with Twitter is that a lot of people use it to get information for themselves. But I think if you think about the kind of network of teachers that you've built up, using it within your classroom, using it within your lessons, I think there's certainly a lot of potential that's still yet to sort of discover. Another thing that's great for using Twitter is looking for temperature and sort of simple data around the world. So ask your network, what's the temperature, where those people are, and get the kids to kind of map that data, and you do all sorts of things with it. So that was one way that I used Twitter to sort of kick off a Google Earth lesson, and it was much better to get the kids to explore rather than to be tourists. Another thing I just want to quickly update you with, and I'll leave you with this, is multi-touch tables. A lot of you people have seen the smart table. I was downstairs and been here for the last few days. I think some maybe Aidan from Stelvis is knocking about as well. But when I was in Scotland in my first teaching meet, I talked about a project I did with Philips, and we were looking at this is like 2 or 3 years ago. That we were looking at we actually had one of these multi-touch desks, and we developed applications, and it came to school. The reception kids were using it, and we learned quite a lot from that. Durham University, I'm currently working with Durham University to look at inviting all of you guys to actually contribute something to the development of multi-touch in the classroom, what it means to you, because I don't think that we really know enough at the moment. So I've started a NING group, which I'll put on the wiki and stuff afterwards, but it's a multi-touch NING group, and you can contribute your ideas. We can talk about gestures. There's a Flickr group as well. And one last thing is that smart looking at the moment to put some of these smart tables into classrooms, and hopefully, fingers crossed, in about 7 weeks when the smart tables get shipped to England at the moment, there's loads in the States, and only a few over here. Hopefully that we'll be able to get them into classrooms as well, and we're looking at including teachers within the development of the smart table. So that's kind of a quick update on multi-touch and a bit of Twitter and Google. Thanks very much.